The impoverished female student my husband sponsors sent me a provocative text message. In the photo, she was wearing my pajamas and lying on my bed. Sister, you are old, your skin is loose, and there are wrinkles on your face when you smile. It is so ugly. But I am different. I am only 19 years old and still a virgin. No man can refuse me. He just hugged me and almost tortured me to death. Every word is disgusting. So what if she was 19 years old? I didn't spoil her. I censored her photo and sent it directly to her university class group. Not long after, Benjamin Lewis called. How old are you to bother with a young girl who has just reached adulthood? Do you know how much trouble you will cause her by doing this? Zoe Robinson, you are so fucking disgusting. I didn't reply at all, just hung up the phone and blocked all his contact information. It doesn't matter. I don't want dirty things. 1. I packed up all of Benjamin's things overnight and threw them in the corridor. I found the most professional housekeeping company to clean the house inside and out. I also deleted the fingerprint lock and changed the password. But I never expected that Benjamin guessed the password. He pushed open the door and woke me up from my deep sleep. Zoe, what do you mean by this? You threw all my things out, what? You still want to divorce me and live separately? I didn't sleep all night and was woken up shortly after I dozed off. My mind was in a mess. Facing Benjamin's questioning, I picked up the pillow next to me and threw it at him. Yeah, let's go our separate ways. Get out of here now. Benjamin was stunned for a moment, bent down to pick up the pillow that had fallen on the ground, dusted it off and put it back on the head of my bed. He frowned when he smelled the alcohol on me. Why are you still drinking? Don't you know you get a headache when you drink? Lie down and take a rest first. I'll go make you some food. He turned and walked out. I stopped him and said, I told you to get out. Benjamin, are you deaf? He paused but still closed the door gently. It's always like this. I have been holding my temper for a long time and wanted an explanation, but every time I ended up hitting cotton. I escape every time. I will heal myself little by little over time. He ignored my painful struggles and waited until I had finished having a hysterical outburst before coming out to play the role of a caring person, pointing out my mistakes and forcing me to accept and apologize. In other words, no matter whether I am right or wrong, I will always be the first to bow my head. Because I love him, I am willing to go crazy, willing to consume myself, willing to always treat him as my treasure and protect his pride. But all this is based on the premise that I still love him. The sound of cutting vegetables came from the kitchen, and soon the aroma of food wafted over. Benjamin knocked on my door. Baby, wake up and eat. When I was getting ready to go out, he had already prepared the food for me, which included 3 dishes and a soup, all of my favorites. It seemed like he had completely forgotten about the time he yelled at me on the phone a few days ago about Lily Martinez. He is like this. I always feel that if I just handle it calmly, things will pass. Little did I know that those things were piling up in my heart, and now all I needed was a chance to explode. After dinner, Benjamin took out a lipstick from somewhere. I heard from my colleagues that this brand of lipstick is very beautiful, so I bought one for you to see if you like it. I opened the lid and inside was a very old-fashioned dark red lipstick. There are even traces of grinding on the top of the paste. I closed it expressionlessly and threw it into the trash can. 2. Benjamin was angry. Zoe, what do you mean? You shouldn't throw away something I gave you even if you don't like it. I laughed. He opened his phone and showed Benjamin the text message he had just received. It was sent by Lily. Sister, do you like the lipstick? I picked it for you personally. It's the most suitable for an old woman like you. Of course, this is just one of the cameras in the set that brother Benjamin bought for me. The most old-fashioned crimson color is a perfect match for you. The anger on Benjamin's face froze a little. I sneered. What do you mean by that? Benjamin, you can actually do something like that, giving it to me? She is just a young child who has just come of age. She doesn't understand the ways of the world. She says whatever comes to her mind. It's normal. As an elder, do you have to argue with the young? Benjamin's rebuttal almost made me laugh. Elder? Benjamin, do you have any shame? If I'm the elder, then what are you? Huh. This little kid who just came of age is wearing my underwear, lying on my bed, and fucking sleeping with my man. You think I shouldn't care? Benjamin got furious. He stood up suddenly, walked back and forth in the living room several times, and finally pointed at my nose. You have to bring this up, don't you? It was just an accident. I drank too much at a social event, and she had never seen these beautiful clothes before, so what's wrong with trying them on? We didn't do anything, so why are you making such a fuss? I stared at Benjamin closely. The anger and irritation in his eyes were like a handful of water, completely extinguishing my rage. Someone who pretends to be asleep can never be woken up. I shouldn't waste my energy on myself anymore. Whoever wants this kind of rubbish can have it, but don't be so shameless and come near me, it's disgusting. Benjamin heard the indirect criticism in my words and he grabbed my wrist hard. What do you mean? Zoe, what do you mean? I sneered. What do you mean? I'm telling you to get lost and go back to your good 19-year-old sister. Don't disgust me. Do you understand? 3. As soon as I finished speaking, I was slapped hard on the face. In 5 years of marriage, Benjamin has never laid a hand on me. This is the first time. He looked down at me with disgust on his face. Zoe, I've given you face by coming back to you, but you insist on being a bitch to me, right? Don't you know how old you are? You have to be jealous of a little girl who knows nothing. Isn't it shameful? 10 years old, Zoe. You are 10 years older than Lily. Is she wrong? You will be 30 soon. You are already old. If you have time to be jealous every day, you might as well think about how to dress yourself up. My eyes widened, somewhat unable to believe what I heard. Sure enough, what a person blurts out when he is extremely angry is the truth. Everyone can say that I am old and ugly, except me. Benjamin can't. I stood up and slapped him back with my backhand. Benjamin, do you have a conscience? Wasn't I young once? Lily was 19, enjoying all the luxuries you brought her, and I was 19. My youth has been wasted in these years accompanying you through hardships and starting your own business. Benjamin covered his face and frowned. Have I treated you unfairly these years? I have been serving you delicious food and drinks every day. Can't you just be quiet? Okay, I hit you once, you hit me once, that's fair. I don't want to have a quarrel with outsiders and affect our relationship. I closed my eyes and didn't want to listen to him. I felt the pain in my lower abdomen and had a bad premonition. Benjamin didn't notice anything unusual about me because his cell phone suddenly rang. Benjamin, brother. I came to school today and some classmates bullied me. They called me a mistress. Benjamin gave me an accusing look. Don't be afraid, I'm coming to you now. After hanging up the phone, he lowered his eyes and looked at me with a cold tone. Because of your impulsiveness, Lily has been isolated by her classmates at school. She is still a child. If anything happens to her, you can't be free from responsibility. Benjamin. I held my belly tightly and looked at him with a pale face. I'm pregnant and my stomach hurts a lot now. Can you take me to the hospital first? Benjamin stopped walking, looked back at me across the sofa and snorted. What? You've changed your reason for keeping me this time? It's been 5 years and there's been no movement in your belly. How could you be pregnant at this time? Who would believe it? I didn't want to argue with him anymore. Instead, I looked at my skirt which was stained with blood and pleaded tremblingly. I'm not kidding you, Benjamin, I'm bleeding. But the only response I got was the sound of the door being slammed shut. 4. The child is gone. I listened quietly as the doctor informed me of the news. Even though I had already prepared myself to accept it, I couldn't help but shed tears at this moment. The day they learned of the child's existence, Benjamin and Lily rolled into bed. The little life we had been looking forward to for 5 years arrived at this time. It didn't even have a chance to see the world before it quietly left. The doctor left. I was the only one left in the ward. Empty. Only then did I realize that after 5 years in this city, I didn't even have a single close friend. My whole life revolves around Benjamin. I crawled into the quilt, curled myself up into a ball, bit my fingers and broke down crying. I didn't receive any calls from Benjamin all day. Not even a message. I guess until now, he doesn't even know that he has been blocked by me. There was no bathroom in the ward, so I had to carry the floor myself and go to the nearby public toilet. But when I stood up, I couldn't zip up my clothes. I had no choice but to ask the cleaning lady for help. While zipping my pants, the aunt gently reminded me, "Next time you need to go to the bathroom, ask the nurse. If you are not careful, the blood will flow back and it will be bad." The long-lost care made my nose sore and tears almost fell. In a blink of an eye, I saw Lily. There was gauze on her forehead, and she looked at me with a sarcastic look, with unabashed ridicule. Benjamin took good care of her. With delicate and beautiful makeup, long wavy hair and a light purple skirt, she looks like a doll. I can no longer find any trace of the dirty, timid little girl from the past in her. What a coincidence. 5. She smiled and lifted her long hair, revealing the kiss marks on her neck. Sister, are you sick? Why did you come to the hospital alone? Even if Benjamin doesn't want to accompany you, you should have asked a friend to come, right? Oh, I remember now. She smiled happily as if she had thought of something. Brother Benjamin said that a bad-tempered old woman like you has no friends at all. How pitiful. He can't even zip up his pants to go to the toilet. She looked at me with a sense of superiority, the kind of smugness that comes from taking away someone else's beloved things. I just feel sick. For a man who will never belong to you, you will be infamous. The name of mistress will follow you for the rest of your life. Is it really worth it? She took a step closer to me and whispered in my ear with a smile. Compared to the wealth and glory I'll get after becoming Mrs. Lewis, what's the title of mistress? From the first moment I saw you, I felt that you were not worthy of this man, let alone all of this. The person who should take his place should be me. To be honest, you are almost 30 years old. You are indeed old. Brother Benjamin told me personally that when facing you, he has no desire at all. Anger and shame, each one was churning rapidly in my chest, making it almost impossible for me to control my madness. I wanted to tear the face of the man in front of me into pieces. Taking a deep breath, I managed to hold it in. Fighting with such a disgusting woman for a man who is not worthy of her will only make you lose more value. Really? I hope that when you get old, there won't be any younger women around him. After saying that, I walked past her. But Lily behind me ran faster. I could clearly hear her jogging and throwing herself into the arms of Benjamin, who was waiting at the bathroom door. Brother Benjamin, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so compelled to be with you. Please ask Sister Zoe to let me go. She said that if I don't leave you, she will make me lose my reputation in school. I know I did something wrong, but Brother Benjamin, I did this only because I like you. As long as you are willing, I am willing to bear all the blame. I watched the play directed and performed by Lily indifferently. Her poor acting skills can't hide her green tea vibe at all. But Benjamin was deeply moved. He held Lily behind him, not caring at all why I was in the hospital or that I had been holding the fort for a long time. 6. He blamed me. Zoe, what do you want? You are no longer the little girl you were back then. You don't have the capital to be willful now. If you have any opinions, you can come to me, don't bother Lily. Now immediately apologize to Lily. He pulled me and forced me to bend over. I struggled in an extremely embarrassing posture. I feel so tired and so painful. I asked Benjamin to let go and told him that I was in real pain all over my body. Grievances and weaknesses turned into anger, and I yelled at Benjamin. In order to please a mistress who is 11 years younger than you, you forced your original wife to kneel down and apologize to her. Benjamin, you are really awesome. We've been dating for 3 years and married for 5 years. I've wasted 8 years of my youth on you. 8 years. How many 8 years will there be in my life? I started your business with you, endured hardships with you, lived in a basement with you that was only a dozen square meters, and watched the sunrise at 4 in the morning with you so many times. Now that you have become successful, you have started to support a mistress. Even beasts are more humane than you. Everyone, look. This person is Benjamin, the president of Lewis Enterprises. Next to him is the poor student he sponsors, Xiao San, who is 11 years younger than him. 7. For a moment, everyone was talking about it. It is not uncommon for a husband to help his mistress bully his wife, but this is the first time that the wife has to kneel down and apologize to the mistress in public. What's more, the person who came was a well-known figure. Some people took out their mobile phones and started taking photos and videos, and some with hot tempers started cursing directly. To Benjamin, to Lily. Dirty and insulting voices were thrown at the two of them one by one. Benjamin protected Lily from being photographed. And I was in the crowd looking at these two people coldly. Eventually, he ran out of energy and passed out. When I woke up again, it was dark and I was back in the ward. My throat was terribly dry and I struggled to get up, but fell back down weakly. A hand holding a glass of water was handed to me. Under the light, I saw Benjamin's face with some concern. I didn't accept the cup of water he handed me and lay down again. "I'm sorry." His voice was rarely tinged with annoyance. "I thought you just had a common cold, but I didn't expect that you would actually—" "Don't be too sad, you will have children again. The most urgent thing is to take care of your health first and then we can—" I interrupted him with a sneer. "Then? Benjamin, do you really think there will be a next time? Why should I, Zoe, accept a dirty man? When I see you now, I feel sick and nauseous." The strong hatred in my eyes seemed to hurt his fragile self-esteem. He raised his hand to hit me, but then stopped in midair. "I'm already here with you and I've apologized to you. What else do you want me to do? Can't you just be quiet? You have to make a fuss and push your luck. If you weren't being unreasonable, why would I hit you? How could the child be gone? Can't you reflect on your own mistakes? I've put up with you for so many years. If you continue to be so unreasonable, let's get a divorce and stop torturing each other." 8. Finally, he used his usual threatening tactics. Whenever we encounter a conflict that cannot be resolved, he always threatens me with divorce. He knew I wouldn't agree. I am even more certain that I can't live without him. So this method has always worked for him. The same is true this time. He looked at me, still with a smug look as if he was determined to win. He was waiting for me to lower my head just like before. I humbly begged him not to leave me. Unfortunately this time I couldn't wait. "Okay, Benjamin, let's get a divorce." The arrogance in his eyes disappeared in an instant, and paleness, loss, and anger gradually crept onto his face. He stood up suddenly and almost yelled at me. "Do you know what you're talking about? Of course I'm not deaf." I stared into his eyes and spoke each word clearly. "I agree to the divorce. If Louis is always too busy, I can contact a lawyer to draft a divorce agreement. Then you can just move your noble hand and sign it." After I said this, Benjamin didn't say anything for a long time. The whole ward was silent. I didn't rush but waited quietly, until Benjamin raised his foot and went to the balcony. Through the transparent window of the balcony, I saw him lighting a cigarette and leaning against the fence, wondering what he was thinking about. After about half an hour, he finally came in. He smelled heavily of cigarette smoke. He reached out and tried to ruffle my hair, but I avoided him. His hand stopped awkwardly in midair, and then he forced a smile. "You haven't eaten for a day, right? What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Don't be angry, okay?" I raised my eyelids, looked at him and sneered. "Haven't I made it clear enough just now? I agreed to the divorce. Benjamin, why are you still pretending? Are you a slut?" As I said this, Lily just pushed the door open. When she heard me humiliating Benjamin like this, she immediately ran over and held Benjamin's hand. "If you agreed to divorce, then hurry up and get it. Brother Benjamin, don't you see that? She is just playing hard to get now. She doesn't care about you at all. It's been so hard for you to get to where you are now. And yet she actually slandered your reputation in front of so many people. If it were me, I would definitely follow Benjamin's lead in everything and put you first in everything." What a green tea speech. These words can be used as a model of green tea. 9. Benjamin still stared at me and did not reject Lily's gesture of friendship. "Zoe, I was impulsive just now. We have been married for 5 years after all. Divorce is not a joke. You must not." His eyes were red, and even though he had just been humiliated by me, he still looked affectionate when he spoke. "I find it kind of funny. Am I remembering this wrongly? Wasn't it you who proposed the divorce? I just agreed to it. Besides, Mr. Lewis, before you say these words to me, can you please let go of your lover's hand?" Benjamin moved his lips. "Let it go. Will you never mention divorce again? It's fine if we don't get a divorce." I looked at Lily with a smile. "You should completely cut off all ties with her. Just now she asked me to kneel down and apologize to her. Now let her apologize to me in the same way. I don't think this request is excessive." But Lily sobbed and buried herself in Benjamin's arms, shaking her head at him. Just as I expected, Benjamin didn't let go of Lily's hand. He looked helpless. "Why do you have to pick on Lily? We are both women. Can't you be more gentle and generous like Lily? I'm really tired of you pushing me like this. I will not let you lose anything in terms of money or material things. Can you please be content? I beg you. You are really greedy. I cursed, picked up any glass of water I could get my hands on, and threw it at the two of them. Benjamin protected Lily and dodged. The glass fell to the ground and the sharp glass fragments cut Lily's calf. She screamed in pain. Zoe, Benjamin yelled. Don't think I really won't divorce you. Then leave immediately. You're a grown man, so just do it decisively, okay? I have no hope for this man anymore. I just want to escape from this sea of suffering as soon as possible. Okay. Lee. Zoe, you better not regret it. Benjamin took Lily's hand and walked out of the ward. Before leaving, Lily raised her eyebrows at me provocatively. Somewhat funny. She got a man by selling her body and self-esteem, but I don't know what she has to brag about. 10. After a month, my health, which had been weakened by the loss of the child, finally recovered. It happened to be Louis' anniversary celebration, and in previous years I attended as Benjamin's female companion. I didn't want to go this year, but I'm also a major shareholder of the company. If I didn't go, it would affect the company's reputation, so I went anyway. I thought Benjamin knew his limits in such situations. After all, he used to cherish the hard-earned results of his efforts over so many years. But I didn't expect that I would still see Lily at the dinner party. He completely ignored his reputation. She was wearing a light blue dress and moving among the crowd like a graceful elf. Benjamin really took good care of Lily. The jewelry she wore were all very expensive, and her dress was also high-end. There are no secrets in the circle, and almost everyone present knows Lily. Benjamin's 19-year-old lover who he keeps outside. Most of the looks she received were of contempt and disdain, but she seemed unaware of it, thinking she was a noble peacock, attracting everyone's attention. I wanted to consider the overall situation and not make a fuss with her, but she should never ever dance in front of me so self-righteously. She even deliberately spilled the red wine in her hand on my dress. Oh, Sister Zoe. I'm so sorry for getting your clothes dirty. She pretended to be flustered and apologized, but her eyes were full of contempt. But this dress is dirty, so it's dirty. It doesn't matter whether you change it or not. After all, no matter how beautiful you dress, it can't cover up the old smell on you. No one will care what you wear. I looked down at the large red stain on my chest and suddenly laughed. You are still young after all. Have you read too many romance novels about domineering bosses and think you are the protagonist of this world? Lily's face changed. What do you mean? I didn't say anything but brushed off the wine stains on my body. This dress I'm wearing is a work of the famous designer Alger. It is the only one in the world and is worth $3 million. Today he lent me this dress so that I could promote his brand at the company's anniversary celebration. Now that it's been destroyed by you, I need you to pay me $3 million in compensation. After all, she was just a 19-year-old girl. How could she understand these things? Naturally, she was very scared. She stepped back in fear, shaking her head. It has nothing to do with me. It was your own carelessness. 11. I smiled and pointed to the surveillance camera above my head. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it, the surveillance camera will prove everything. Miss Martinez, $3 million, is it in cash or by credit card? Lily was so scared that she almost cried. I don't have that much money. I nodded and immediately called the security guard. Call the police. This person has soiled my dress worth $3 million. The security guard was about to take Lily away, but Benjamin rushed over at the critical moment. Lily cried and threw herself into Benjamin's arms. Benjamin understood the situation and looked at me with a frown. Zoe, why are you causing trouble without considering the occasion? Whether I was the one causing the trouble or not, you can check the surveillance video to see what your beloved Lily said to me. Lily hugged Benjamin's arm tightly and shook her head. Benjamin knew it clearly in his heart, but he refused to watch the surveillance video. He took out a bank card and threw it at me. Isn't it just $3 million? I paid it for her. As for you, get out of here. I looked at the bank card that fell on the ground and smiled sarcastically. I wanted to save some face for you, but you were the first one to show no mercy to me, Benjamin. I handed the USB flash drive in my hand to the staff, and soon the whole venue went dark. The large screen in the center lights up. Inside are chat records. It is not difficult to see that the content is a conversation between a man and a woman. The woman was very open-minded. and every obscene word she said was simply disgusting. Others may not recognize this woman's WeChat profile picture, but Benjamin must know it. I saw his face getting uglier and uglier, so I reached out and patted his shoulder. Don't worry, there are more exciting things to come. There are also video clips in the chat history. It was Lily. Her private parts were half exposed, and her lewd and lustful movements were almost the same as those in some movies. At the very end there is even Benjamin's appearance. Even the dignified president of Lewis Group has some special hobbies in bed. There were more exciting things to come, but unfortunately, Benjamin ordered it to be turned off. The entire venue was silent. Money makes the world go round. This is what I have gathered during this month of recuperation. Benjamin, furious, slapped Lily hard. Bitch, how dare you play tricks on me? 12. I didn't care what happened next. At the end of the day, Lily was pulled into the car by Benjamin's bodyguards by her hair. Benjamin has never been a good person. The naive Lily didn't know it, but I knew it very well in my heart. The circle of wealthy people was not as simple as she thought. She thought that because she was young and beautiful, she could make those rich and powerful people bow down at her feet. Too naive. In this circle, only interests are eternal. Will those rich second generations and bosses she knows go against me for her? After all, I am the largest shareholder of Lewis. Benjamin didn't tell Lily. When this company was first founded, I worked hard with him, and that was when he loved me the most. He cherishes me very much, and cherishes even more everything that is hard-earned between us. After the company went public, I returned to my family. He always felt that he owed me for letting me endure hardships with him during the best time of his life, so when the shares were divided, 60% of Lewis shares were in my name. His purpose at that time was to compensate me, and also to allow me to return to my family. Later, as the company developed better and better, he tried many times, openly or secretly, to get back more shares. But I rejected them all. I love Benjamin blindly, but I am also an adult and have been struggling in society for many years. I know very well that for a woman, interests are eternal. As long as I hold the shares, Benjamin will never divorce me. But now, he has been completely disgraced, and I have 10,000 reasons to kick him out of the company. He always thought that I was just a love-brained, stupid woman who could only rely on him to survive in this city. So when I threw the president's removal agreement in front of him, his face was still full of disbelief. The company belongs to me. Without me, how can you run it? As long as I have money, what kind of capable people can I not find? I gently held his hand. You have to know that I don't want you to leave now, but there are too many negative news about you. If you stay in the company, it will affect the company's development. You don't want all your years of hard work to be ruined, right? Don't worry. I'm just asking you to give up your position. We will still live a good life in the future, but you won't have to work so hard anymore, right? For the future development of the company, please sign it. He held the pen and hesitated on the paper for a long time. Wife, are you still blaming me? Because I wrongly trusted Lily. I thought back to the last time I saw Lily. Her legs were broken by Benjamin's men, her face was scratched, and she was thrown into an underground club. I guess there won't be any good days for the rest of my life. I know it's normal to have no resistance to young and beautiful women. If you are willing to admit your mistakes, I can forgive you. I chuckled and spoke. He was so moved that he promised again and again. Wife, I will love you more in the future and will never betray you again. After saying that, he picked up the pen and resolutely signed his name on the paper. I looked at the signed document and smiled with satisfaction. This is just the first step. When a woman really makes up her mind, she will be more cruel than anyone else. Although I found a very reliable person to manage the company for me, I still go to the company every day in order to be able to participate in some decision-making smoothly in the future. When Benjamin has nothing to do, he cleans the house and cooks for me. It was as if the roles between us had been reversed. Benjamin is the one who stays at home every day and does all the housework. And I became the one who had a carefree time outside, even staying out all night. Many times after drinking with friends, I would go home late at night, and when I turned on the light, I would see Benjamin sitting on the sofa with a pillow, waiting for me until he fell asleep. In him I saw my former self. What have you been doing lately? You've only been back a handful of times in this month. Zoe, do you still want this family? This sentence sounds inexplicably familiar. During those many days and nights when I waited from dusk till dawn, I questioned him in the same way with grievance and anger. Socializing. I threw my bag on the sofa. You lie at home all day. How can you know how difficult it is to negotiate a business for the company? Benjamin looked at me angrily and said, I used to be the one who handled the company's affairs. How come I don't know about it? Really? Then shouldn't you be more considerate of me? Haven't you often stayed out all night for so many years? I asked him back with a smile. He stopped talking. Because everything I did, he did. He went drinking with his so-called business partners under the pretext of socializing. If you don't want to answer my call, just turn off your phone. When faced with my questioning, she always responds with the same answer. How can a woman like you know how to deal with it? Now I'm just giving it all back to him. 14. In the future, if you have anything to say, tell me as soon as possible. Yesterday was my birthday, and I thought you would come back to accompany me. So I cooked a table full of dishes for you. I looked at the cold food on the table. I've been eating these for 5 years, and I'm tired of them. I yawned impatiently, took out a bottle of men's perfume from my bag, and handed it to him. This is for you, a birthday present. He opened it with joy, only to find that there was only half a bottle of perfume. Your new male secretary just posted a circle of friends yesterday. This is the gift you gave him. He threw the perfume to the ground fiercely. Zoe, what do you mean now? You are using something that someone else has used to fool me. Right? I still don't care. Why are you making excuses? It's just half a bottle spilled. Why are you yelling? Didn't I give you a card? Can't you just buy what you want yourself? Why are you being so pretentious? Benjamin looked at me with broken eyes. You are punishing me, right? Honey, please don't do this to me, please. I pushed him away. I am like this, I have always been like this. If I can get by, I will get by. If I can't, I will leave immediately. When Benjamin heard that I wanted a divorce, he became anxious. He kept shaking his head. Don't divorce me, I'm sorry, honey, I know I was wrong. I will never say that to you again. Don't divorce me. He seemed extremely frightened with red eyes. I smiled with satisfaction and patted his face. An obedient dog is a good dog. His back stiffened for a moment. Did he dare to divorce? He didn't dare. He only had 10% of the company's shares. As the party at fault, he could only leave the company with nothing. The shareholders of the company would never let him go back. If he divorced, he would have nothing. In the end, he lowered his noble head. Carefree. 15. In the evening, I went to the bar introduced by my friend and ordered 2 male models. When Benjamin got the news and rushed over, I was pinching the chin of a male model and feeding him red wine in my hand. He rushed in, snatched the wine glass from my hand and threw it to the ground. Zoe, is this what you call socializing? Work. His eyes were bloodshot, full of pain and helplessness. Why? Why did you do this to me? Zoe, am I not doing well enough? Am I not loving you enough? Whether I love you or not is another matter. I ran my hands over the male model's face and abdominal muscles, and said with a smile, Benjamin, you are already over 30 years old. You're old. But I have many better choices. Every one of them is younger, more handsome, and taller than you. Why? Why should I waste my feelings and the rest of my life on an old man like you? You shouldn't care about me. Now I'm feeding you with good food and drink. Isn't that good enough? Benjamin seemed unable to believe what he heard. His lips trembled constantly and his eyes were broken. He was right. These words were his truest thoughts when he betrayed me. Now that I have interpreted it word for word, he has no reason to refute it. Crystal tears rolled down from the corners of his eyes and he kept shaking his head. No, it shouldn't be like this. 8 years, we have been together for 8 years. You didn't leave me when I had nothing. How can you stop loving me now just because I'm old? You're getting back at me, aren't you? You're still mad at me, aren't you? Faced with his painful hysteria, I felt only annoyance. I went through all this trouble just because I'm mad at you? Benjamin, you think too highly of yourself. In that case, let's get a divorce. Anyway, I've been looking at your face for 8 years and I'm tired of it. Let's get a divorce. There was silence for about 2 minutes, and Benjamin's face turned pale. I'm sorry, honey. Please don't divorce me, please. He bent his knees and knelt directly in front of me. I know I was a beast before. I was sorry for you. I promise I will change in the future. I can have nothing and I can ignore you. I just ask you not to abandon me. We've been together for 8 years. We've been through so much hardship. Now everything is fine, right? We shouldn't have ended like this. I slapped him hard. You also know that we have been together for 8 years? How did you treat me for a younger, more beautiful woman? People who betray your sincerity should swallow 10,000 needles. That's what you told me yourself back then. I pinched his jaw and laughed cruelly. No divorce, that's fine. 10,000 needles, not one less. If you can swallow them all, we can continue to be together. After saying that, I pushed him away and walked out. Not long after, I received a call from my friend. Benjamin is in the hospital. He said that after I left, Benjamin cried and laughed, and finally he really started swallowing the needle. I watched the surveillance video sent by my friend. Benjamin's mouth was full of blood. He fell to the ground in pain and trembled uncontrollably. However, he still forced needles into his mouth one after another. He pushed away one person after another who tried to stop him, crying and shouting, "After I swallow 10,000 needles, Zoe will forgive me." That night, the hospital called me many times. I didn't answer any of them. I said once I decide to let go, I can be more ruthless than anyone else. From now on, whether he is dead or alive has nothing to do with me. 16. The weather was great on the day of the divorce. I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau holding the divorce certificate. Benjamin behind me looked haggard, as if he had aged 10 years overnight. Yes, just a few days ago, when the lawyer was sorting out our marital property, he found out that all the property under my name had been secretly transferred by me. After the divorce, he only got 100,000 yuan. The foundation he had worked hard for half his life finally fell into my hands. When did you start planning this? His tired and hoarse voice sounded from behind me. It started from the day you forced me to kneel down to Lily after I lost my child. That night I sat by the window for a long time, until the bright moon completely disappeared in the sky, until my tears run dry, until my crumbling sanity began to recover bit by bit. I finally gave up. From that day on, I began to prepare to take away everything from him. I have clearly decided to live a good life with you. He squatted down, whimpering in pain and regret. It's okay. I will continue to enjoy the happy life that should belong to you. I left this sentence and got in the car. In the rearview mirror, the hunched figure stood there for a long time. I suddenly remembered that a long time ago, when the company made its first pot of gold. He hugged me tightly. That day, under such bright sunshine, he whispered in my ear, "Honey, thank you for staying with me for so long. In the future, I will love you more and give you a better life." The happiness that was once within his reach was ruined by him in this way. Who can be blamed? You deserve it.